Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
And I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I appreciate you watching WGXA News at 5:30.
A repeat child sex offender will spend the next 35 years in prison after an investigation into underage tattooing uncovered an even darker crime.
35-year-old Kenneth Queen has been convicted of multiple crimes against children since 2008, most recently admitting to the possession of graphic child sexual abuse material in 2020, while Monroe County investigators looked into underage tattooing claims.
He was previously convicted for sexual battery against a child under 16 and child molestation in Madison County back in 2008. He was mandated to register as a sex offender for life, but failed to do so.
He's been sentenced to 35 years in prison, followed by 25 years of supervised release. He also owes one victim $20,000 in restitution.
In renewed efforts tonight to find a killer, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office seeking the public's help to find out who shot 66-year-old Philip Waynes on May 19th of 2022. Deputies say Waynes was driving on Bailey Avenue when he was shot multiple times. He was able to leave his vehicle and look for help at a neighborhood gas and grocery store. A customer took him to a hospital where he died 4 months later from his injuries. If you know anything about the case, call the Bibb County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers.
Continuing coverage tonight, a Macon business owner says downtown merchants are doing law enforcement's legwork, obtaining security footage of two women being pushed through a storefront window last Thursday. An owner of the dog salon, the Puppery, is cleaning up the mess left behind after that incident, but she says she also had to ask local businesses for their security tapes to try and find the man that assaulted two women and shattered Puppery property.
Lack of police presence, you have laws and codes that aren't being forced and followed up on. A lot of people like to point fingers at the homeless population, and while that is a part of it, that definitely is not the main problem.
Flowers says she hasn't heard back from deputies, and to her knowledge, they haven't checked for footage. We also haven't heard back from the sheriff's office about our questions on the investigation, along with progress on plans for more surveillance cameras around downtown.
And take a look at this house fire in Houston County. Firefighters responded to a home on Kimberly Road and Todd Circle around 11 this morning. You can see there's some roof damage from the flames, and firefighters were able to quickly get the blaze under control. So far, no update from the Warner Robins Fire Department if there were any injuries or what caused the fire.
All new tonight, a fitness instructor in Warner Robins is speaking out after she says the gym she worked for fired her for no reason.
Today, our Carlos Stevens spoke with her about why she believes she was terminated and how the gym responded. He joins us live now. And Carlos, what did she tell you?
Well, guys, she said she was fired for something she didn't even do, and she said it all started around the Juneteenth holiday.
Simone Kills was a group fitness instructor at Crunch Fitness in Houston County. She said she was fired by management over something that she didn't know. The controversy started around the Juneteenth holiday. Kills says they held a Juneteenth event at the gym on June 15th, but that was after questions were raised about not planning one to begin with. She noted other celebrations were planned in the past for other holidays, but not Juneteenth.
Because we previously did a Cinco de Mayo, we've done St. Patrick's Day, we've done all the other, festivities, major holidays, and Juneteenth wasn't mentioned at all.
During the Juneteenth celebration, Simone says refreshments, including wine, were brought in. She says that's when things took a turn for the worse. Hills claims management spoke with her about the wine being brought in and ultimately suspended her until July 1st. Hills says they were given permission by the group fitness coordinator.
Hey, if you guys want to do something, go ahead, do it.
Hills says after her fitness class was finally over, wine was presented for everyone to enjoy, but she didn't drink any.
A lot of the members already hear me several times say, why I don't partake in it, because I was nursing at the time.
After being suspended, she went on vacation and came back, asking to be put on the schedule, but they never did.
And right then I was told, you just don't fit the culture anymore.
Something she says she doesn't understand.
Now all of a sudden I don't fit the culture after I've had the Juneteenth event.
Kills says it was never brought to her attention that the wine was an issue, but according to Kills, it was brought to others' attention through the fitness group coordinator.
Communicating with other employees saying I was being sneaky, I knew better, I shouldn't have done this.
Kills says she didn't bring the wine, so we asked her who did.
One of the paying members, she brought it.
Yolanda Clements works out at the gym, and she says she's to blame for the wine.
I brought it. Yes, I did. I brought 2 bottles.
Clements says her and her husband have both reached out to corporate as well as human resources to take responsibility for the wine. She says Simone is a victim of discrimination.
Not a doubt.
Now, I did go to Crunch Fitness to get their side of the story, and they declined to comment, even telling me to leave their property. We're live here in Houston County. I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
All right, Carlos, thank you. And Macon sees a slight increase in its unemployment rate from this time last year. The unemployment rate sits at 4.1%. That's up by 0.2% since last June. Macon has more than 103,000 jobs at the end of June. That shows a net increase of 200 jobs from May and a notable growth of 2,300 jobs compared to 2022. Initial unemployment claims in June declined by 26% in Macon, but that number is still up by 7% compared to last year. To political news now, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's health scare is raising questions about how old is too old when it comes to serving in Congress.
Janae Bowens has the details on a renewed term limit push.
And a string of
This shocking moment is raising questions about Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's ability to govern. During a press conference on Wednesday, McConnell froze for about 30 seconds.
okay, Mitch.
The 81-year-old polio survivor also suffered a concussion and multiple falls this year. He's brushing off concerns.
I'm fine. That's the
Dehydrated?
And on Thursday, 90-year-old Senator Dianne Feinstein appeared confused and started to give a speech during a committee vote.
Priorities submitted.
Yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just aye.
Age an issue in the current presidential campaign as well, with questions about 80-year-old Joe Biden's health and mental fitness. While the president is already limited to 2 terms, there's a push in Washington to extend that to members of Congress as well.
Folks tend to become very insulated from the voters that they're supposed to represent. And really, D.C. is an alternate reality.
Senator Ted Cruz has been pushing for term limits for years. He's proposing a constitutional amendment that would limit 3 2-year terms for members of the House and 2 6-year terms for the Senate.
Our capital has too often become a political playground for the powerful and the well-connected.
A poll from the University of Maryland shows 83% of Americans favor a constitutional amendment on term limits for members of Congress.
If you listen to Charles Grassley, he's up on everything. He's 89 years old, but he is quite competent. But the question is, as the incumbency increases, what kinds of unfair advantages inhere in the system that the public is not going to use as a basis for their voting?
Opponents say the restrictions get rid of people with great experience and knowledge, and with voters deciding who is in power, term limits already exist. On Capitol Hill, I'm Janae Bowens.
Well, new dazing forecast as the very hot temperatures persist across middle Georgia, and unfortunately, they will be sticking around.
Meteorologist Ryan Miranda joins us now and says at least some higher rain chances could provide some heat relief in the coming days. Ryan.
Greg, Amanda, I'm really hoping these rain chances are able to blossom so it's really able to knock down some of these high temperatures. Looking out over Mercer University with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network. Temperature currently 97 degrees. We did see a few isolated storms out here on the radar, but the big story has really been about the heat and a lot of the eastern half of the U.S. experiencing heat. 97 in Macon, 90 right now in Charleston. It's 95 also up in Nashville. There's heat alerts that's stretching all the way from Maine down through Texas, and those purple colors are excessive heat warnings. So a lot of the eastern half of the U.S. dealing with this extreme heat. Not a lot of relief out there on the radar either. We do have a few isolated storms out there, some moving through Butler right now into Taylor County with some downpours, but there's also another cell that's been bubbling up over Baldwin County towards Milledgeville. This is also able to knock down some of those temperatures. So looking ahead at what's coming up, we're keeping that high heat. Feels like temperatures most likely going to stay in the triple digits for the next few days, but we are watching for higher rain chances. I'll talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Greg.
All right, Ryan, thank you. It's a great time to download that WGXA weather app to keep a track of those high temperatures. You can scan the QR code right now to download the app to your smartphone. Ryan is back shortly with your 10-day forecast.
Well, large majority of Georgia public schools and daycares opted to skip a water testing program.
That program tests for water, lead in the water, and our Brianna Cook has more details. She joins us live in the studio. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, only 1% of Middle Georgia schools opted in for the free water testing program.
The Clean Water for Georgia Kids program launched 2 years ago. It is available for free to schools and child care centers. The districts who opt in would receive training videos and equipment for testing all of its sinks and water fountains for lead contamination. But many Georgia schools have yet to use the program. Only 118 of approximately 3,100 child care centers and 1,500 family child care learning homes have signed up. In a report, Environment America gave Georgia an F for protecting drinking water in schools. Doctors say no amount of lead exposure is safe with children since they are more vulnerable to lead poisoning. Small amounts can accumulate in the body and cause problems with brain development, which can lead to decreased intelligence and behavior issues. Lead in water is not detectable by taste or smell. Due to the possibility of lead entering the water after treatment through corroding pipes, it should be tested for at the tap rather than the water source or treatment plant. In Middle Georgia, only 8 of the 775 facilities eligible for testing took advantage of the program. Crawford County tops the mid-state for most facilities tested. Central Georgia Technical College tested their water at their early childhood learning centers. One facility also tested in Macon.
We asked our 2 biggest school districts why they didn't participate. Bibb County and Houston County said they didn't have anyone available to make a comment today. And when they do, we'll update that part on our web story at WGXA.tv. Reporting live in studio, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
Thank you, Brianna. And before the school bell rings in the start of the 23-24 school year, the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and AAA are joining forces to remind drivers of bus safety.
That's right. The school's open Drive Carefully tour stopped in Macon today to share some important reminders as buses hit the road and students hit the sidewalks. The tour focused on making sure drivers are ready to drive slower and to stop as required by law for school buses and in crossing zones. It's all in an effort to make sure our kids are safe as school gets back in session.
Today to remind you that on Tuesday morning, when you see that school zone and that light's flashing, to slow down to do one thing, to protect our children. The number one goal for this school year and every school year is to make sure every child in Georgia gets safely to and from school each day.
School buses are statistically the safest way for children to travel to and from school each day, but data shows the most dangerous part of that trip is for students when they are getting on and off the bus. Now it's up to the roads, us who are on them, to ensure safety for everyone.
And Bibb County schools are also giving a heads up for drivers as classes come back into session. Starting next Tuesday, August 1st, Macon Bibb County will fully start enforcing the speed limits in front of schools with automated camera systems. They say the cameras will enforce the limits 1 hour before school until 1 hour after dismissal. Citations are issued if you are driving 10 miles per hour or more over the posted speed limit.
WGXA is excited to help Middle Georgia families struggling with diaper access this summer. The WGXA Summer Diaper Drive is a part of our local Sinclair Cares initiative. You can help out by scanning the QR code on your screen to make a financial donation, or you can head to one of our 6 donation bins at 6 Kroger locations across Middle Georgia, or the Vineville Baptist Church to drop off diapers. All proceeds will benefit the Kobe Center in Macon.
And a blizzard may be headed your way, and no, it's not the snowy kind, but the kind that helps you give back to the community.
It's Miracle Treat Day at Dairy Queen. You can buy a blizzard at participating locations, and at least $1 from your purchase will go to benefit Children's Miracle Network Hospital. One hospital director says Miracle Treat Day is one of the biggest days of the year when it comes to fundraising.
Today is a big day, so for most retailers, you might think of the day after Thanksgiving as a big day. For Dairy Queen, it is Miracle Treat Day. So it's an opportunity for communities and for folks to come out and support children who are treated at their children's hospital.
To help celebrate, participants are encouraged to use hashtag Miracle Treat Day on social media and invite others to join them in visiting a participating Dairy Queen location.
The Little League Softball Southeast Regional Tournament is still going on. Teams from across the region are vying for the coveted title of regional champs before moving on to the national stage. Unfortunately, Georgia is now out of the running after a nail-biting loss to Florida this morning, ending 4-5. It's the team's second loss in the double elimination tournament. North Carolina and Florida are facing off for the region title tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
And heading now all the way across the world, the U.S. played match 2 of their World Cup last night. Now, it wasn't an easy match, the women coming from behind to earn a 1-1 draw with the Netherlands in a rematch of 2019's World Cup final. The draw snapped a 13-game winning streak for the U.S. at the World Cup, and it now puts pressure for the team to come out strong and get a win in their final group match against Portugal in order to get a better place in the knockout round.
Straight through the end of July. It is Thursday evening, so let's look out over the weekend. It is a bit of a 50-50 one. On Saturday, we're watching for some scattered thunderstorms to be around. Not going to be a washout of a day. Still very hot, up to 95 degrees. And on Sunday, lesser of some rain chances, partly cloudy, but very hot, still up to 97. When you factor in that humidity, feels like temperatures will be into the triple digits. Right now, some of the air temperatures still incredibly warm, 97 in Macon and Warner Robins, 98 down in McRae, 90 in Sparta, and 91 degrees in Butler. But when you really factor in that humidity, even today, it feels very hot. Feels like temperatures in the triple digits for many. It feels like 107 in Forsyth, 103 in Roberta, 106 in Edenton, and it's just very, very hot. We're going to keep this feels like temperatures. Only relief that we're going to get from some of the heat are some of these pop-up storms that we have going on right now. So 2 that we're tracking through Taylor County that are beginning to rain themselves out, but do have some heavy downpours with them. A lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now, and this one cell that bubbled up over Baldwin County into Milledgeville, also able to knock down some of the heat. But a wider view on the radar showing that we're not really getting a lot of storms out there. Not a lot of us are getting some of the relief from all of that high heat and humidity. So in terms of the feels like temperature over the next few days, some of the models are showing that it will rain a bit tomorrow, knocking down the feels like temperature to about 96, but really through the weekend and towards Monday and Tuesday, back to school for some, that feels like temperature will be in the triple digits in that peak heating of the afternoon. So still want to take it slow and make sure you're able to stay cool. The air quality has also been in that moderate category. Most of us have been unaffected by this, but it really does make some beautiful sunrises and sunsets. So satellite radar showing this is the main storm system that I'm tracking. This is moving toward the north and west. That gives us more clouds for tomorrow, rain chances for Friday night and into the day on Saturday as well. So planning out your day tomorrow, we will have those increasing clouds, 74 degrees at 7 o'clock, 89 at 1, going for a high of 96 degrees with some of those clouds that will be rolling in and a few showers and storms around as well. Out in the tropics, we're still watching that one wave off the coast from Africa that does have a 40% chance of formation over the next 7 days. This is still several days away from the American coastline if it does even move in that direction. And we will be getting to worry and to look out for you, but it's not a threat to us at this time. So in your 10-day forecast, some scattered thunderstorms for tomorrow, increasing clouds for the day, 96 degrees. On Saturday, we have a few more of those PM storms around up to 95, but that feels like temperatures still into the triple digits. Sunday, only a few isolated rain showers around 97, and back to work on Monday, back up to 98 degrees, mainly sunny. We're well above average. We, in fact, have one more week of an average high of 94. By next Thursday, our average high finally begins to drop back down as we begin to approach fall. 98 degrees next Tuesday, mainly dry. Wednesday, some isolated storms around 97. And Thursday, continued hot with a high of 95. Lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop Fish and Game forecast. Peaks at 10:20 a.m. and 11:20 p.m. Let's check out Gary.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here again today at All About Animals here in Macon-Bibb County. And I'm also joined again today with Lisa and Frank. And guess who we are going to showcase today?
A big boy.
Big boy.
He's big. He's about 90 pounds. His name is Scoot.
Scoots. He just scoots along. No, he doesn't actually. I'm just saying that.
I don't know. But he is a large dog. But he's really good and he's really calm. He's actually been playing in the playpen this morning, so he's been running and having a good time, but as you can see, he can also be calm as well.
Yes, he can, and of course it is hot out here, and so that's why he's, breathing like he is, but other than that, no problems.
No.
So if someone would like to adopt Scoot, how do they go about doing that?
Please send us a message and let us know you saw this adorable big boy on TV.
Yep.
Send us a message to All About Animals Rescue on our Facebook page. and one of our volunteers will get back with you as soon as possible. Please give this big boy a chance.
That's what I was about to say. Look, let's give this big boy a good home and go ahead and take care of that today. Thank you so much, Frank and Lisa.
Thank you.
Well, we're in the dog days heat of summer, and what a better way to cool off than plunging into a refreshing pool this weekend. Gather the family and hit the slides on National Water Park Day. Every year, that's on July 28th. And that's tomorrow. Individual water slides have been popular for decades, but more enthusiasts agree the modern version of the water park was born in 1977. That's when one of SeaWorld's co-founders opened Wet n Wild in Orlando, Florida. And since then, massive collections of water-based rides have taken off. Almost every state has at least one water park with attractions including lazy rivers, wave pools, and slides that push you up hills like roller coasters. Variations on the traditional water park include indoor parks and floating slides aboard cruise ships. I love a good water park.
I do love a good water park. I'm not like an avid water park goer. Like I've been to quite a few, but I'm not like, I love
I'm shocked.
Because the whole sunscreen thing.
Yeah, just
and you would wash off. And,
outside.
I mean, they have indoor water parks like Great Wolf Lodge.
They do.
And stuff.
Yeah.
I've been to a few of those in like Virginia. But
Excuse
otherwise-
As a Florida girl, I feel like water parks are like my DNA at this point.
Your
Like it's just like a
DNA.
normal part of the summer. You just go every summer.
Oh.
The first water park that I ever visited was in Panama City. What is it? Shipwrecked Island, and that was, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but then I experienced Wet n Wild, and it's bigger, but I'm telling you, Shipwrecked Island is still probably my
The
favorite.
Disney ones are great.
I was about to say, can
they're
it compare
all
to
great.
Disney, like
Typhoon
Typhoon
Lagoon
Lagoon
and Blizzard Beach.
I've never been there.
Oh.
Now, I've been to Disney,
We'll
but not
take
those.
you.
I
Have
wanna
you been
go
to
there.
Rapids also in Florida with Palm Beach? It's lots of fun.
We're all going. We're
We
taking a
got a
trip.
list of things to do. Well, that's it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.